Islam, Islam, Islam to the family. I'm gonna bring the sister in. See if I could bring the sister in. Let me see. And you can turn. Yeah. Islam family. See if I can bring it in. Alright, we back. We back. Like peace, love, and light. We gonna have a.
Okay.
Can you? All right, cool. All right, I don't need the headset, so I'm gonna go off the phone. Turn you up a little bit. All right, you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah.
All right, good, good.
I
So,
mean, sometimes
yeah,
it
let's.
hello?
Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me.
Yeah, it just stops sometimes, like your picture and when you say something.
Yeah, they going. They, they going. Let's see if we can get through this. They gonna mess with this audio a little bit.
Yeah, but I hear you better
Audio,
now.
the pitch. Yeah, yeah, cool. I can hear you too.
Okay, I'm gonna go back in with the question that I had that, they tried to stop so much they didn't want the answer to come out. So I'm gonna ask you again, what is the reason that we
Yeah,
haven't heard of the Moors in history classes?
right. So when I spoke of the historical timeline, right, and I'm talking about the people calling ruled, the world, and they had empires across the world. And this timeline spanned from 711 AD to 1492. So in 1492, all these other nations started to attack the indigenous people here in the Americas. You see, the largest of all the continents. That's why it's two, but it's only one. Like
Hmm.
if you're in South Germany, in North Germany, are we both still in Germany?
Yeah, they divided Germany
So
too
now
back in the day.
Right. So now people here, they look at people in South America like, oh, they're not Americans. Do you see the
Hmm.
disconnect? And that's what the people are dealing with, So now, if they ruled the world, up until this point, 1492, and then this year is when they said the new world. Everyone's talking about the new world.
Hmm.
So who are the people that, and that's who they're raising. So you got rid of the word more. You never taught it in the schools, and then all these people were called black, and they're African. So they're black African and they're American. Black African American. Like they're so far disconnected from their history, and it's
Yep.
unbelievable.
Yep.
And this is why, as I said, in these secret societies, they dress up and wear the fezzes, and they do the rituals, and they tell the story of our ancestors, right?
Hmm.
They give the story in one of the Masonic of Ruth the Moabitess, who is Yahshua, which you would call
Hmm.
Jesus in the Bible. It was no J in Hebrew. Yahshua, right? His great great grandmother was a Moabitess, which is a Moor. This is the story they give in the Masonic lodges to the people that you think that are ruling. They're ruling a class of people who don't know,
Hmm.
and they're using your spiritual practices on you because you don't want them. We shun all the stuff that belongs to, and everyone's selling it.
Yeah, and plus they demonize our not really belief system, but maybe spirituality that we used to have and the things that we used to do. They demonize it and they do it so they can keep us away from it. As soon as people
Yeah,
hear something about, like, let's say, a cult or a ritual or something like this, they always think it's something bad. But I mean, even when you wake up in the morning, you wash your face and you brush your teeth, this is a form of ritual as well.
yeah, exactly. And that's something that my good brother Morpheus would call a spiritual, right? And a sphere is a circle, right? And this is the ritual, a sphere ritual. Every week we
Mm-hmm.
all do our spirituals, right? Every week, if you're gonna go to
Yeah.
do this, we do these things week in and week out.
Mm-hmm.
And just to show you the level of the disconnect of education. That's why I said the Rockefellers created the Board of Education in 1902 to give the people the disconnect. So if I were to say to you, how many days in a year is it?
365.
What would be you see now I'm going to ask you again, how many days in a year is it?
Hmm.
Okay. So now I'm going to give you some of your ancestors' spiritual science. So now there's 7 days in a year. And the beginning day of the week is Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then it repeats. Then it repeats. Then it repeats. See, you get off of the linear calendar and you understand that it's only 7 days that repeat on to eternity. See, the seven represents God. That's God's number. Upright man and womb man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why seven continents, 7 oceans, 7 notes on a music scale, 7 chakras, 7 liberal arts. All of these things are tied to the seven is on the back of the pyramid of the dollar here. You see, all of our science is right in our face, but we don't know who we are, so we're not claiming none of it. And everyone else is using it, and we're powerless because we're like, nobody want to give credit to these ancient black people. You know, and that's where the disconnect comes from, not people who the Moors were, and because who they were, they still are. And that's why I got classes. I got straight A's. I'll give you a little story. I got straight A's like all, and I got kicked out of all the history classes. It was to the point that the principal, he was tired of seeing me like, man, you're one of the smartest kids in school, but you're always in my office. Like, it's only for your history class. Every year, you disrupt. I turned into where I roast the history. Like, I would be bored in class. I'm gonna roast the history teacher. Like, it'd be common power on the history teacher. And like, I said, just there. You weren't there at the time.
I can hear you bad, like
Every,
the connection is bad again.
all right, let's see. How is it now?
Yeah, I can hear you again now. Like it's just crazy, but let's continue.
All right, so yeah, like I was saying that to just give a little bit of that story. So I was facing expulsion. They were going to kick me out of school just because this particular class year after year I would get flunk out, kicked out of this class. But the teacher, the principal, he said, I'll make a deal with you. He was a brother, and he says, if you can, I'll give you the books. You do book reports, I'll make sure you get a grade in history class. And for like 3 years, all the way till the end of school, that's how I, was able to graduate. But I was excited to go after my own research. You see, when I started
Yeah.
to, pick my own books to read, it took me places. And that saying is universal, right? If you want to hide something from us, you put it in a book. And our
Mm-hmm.
people don't read. We don't read nothing. No, we don't read anything. And all we got to do is start history. We can continue on to the next question. This is going to be a pop.
I couldn't hear you
Share this screen.
again, the last part.
All right. What was the last portion you heard me?
You showed the books and then I couldn't hear you anymore. Could you maybe try it again with the Bluetooth or something?
Yeah, but the thing is, I was on the Bluetooth, and as soon as I started the video, it's like it cut me
Oh.
off. You see what I'm saying? Like, my phone still says I'm connected. That's why I'm telling you. Like, earlier they did it. It works. It doesn't work. Like, it automatically threw me onto here. Like, I was already connected onto the
Now I
Bluetooth
can
when I
hear you,
started.
but if you talk about something that's against the system, they stop you.
So you see this, that is choice words, right? It's choice words. And this stuff is very real because in the beginning of this year, I did a powerful presentation on an executive order that Trump signed geared around social media and the gathering of information. And yeah, so all this stuff happening with the videos, it only happens to particular builds with our people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, when we're talking sense, it's like, oh, this is dangerous, you know. But if it's nonsense, hey, we're gonna give them all the camera time they need.
Yep. Yep. Is this audio still bad, or can you hear? Because somebody says they're playing with the audio again.
Yeah, see, you know, like I can hear you clear, you can hear me. See, now they're gonna mess with the audience. Then it'll rotate. Then they'll mess with mine. Then they'll mess with your feed. You see how they blacked your screen out? They haven't done that to me in a while, but these are the tactics, you know. And this is what we're up against because when we're left alone to ourselves and the information and just caring about each other, we're dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, no leaders, just true people talking about something that matters, that resonates. All we needed to do.
But I find it funny because we are not people that are on TV or in the public's eye or something. You feel me? It's not like we have half of
They don't have, yeah, they don't have power. That's orchestrated propaganda. The true people of power is the nobody that's standing up to saying, hey, and someone else said, I think I heard that truth. I think I heard somebody shout it, and you gather an audience that they can't control. You see, and that's the day we're living, the times we're living in of independent media. This is what you're doing right now. This is independent journalism, you know, and you're doing it on a global scale. Like we're on two sides of the world, and we're
yeah.
having conversation with. This
Yeah.
is phenomenal. You know, you got to yourself. This is planting the seed. That this is what the ancestors want us to do. Plant the seeds, and nature's going to water it. Allah's going to look out for. When I say Allah, I'm not Xing anyone out of their religion. The Creator said, I go by many
Yeah.
names, right? See, when Moses said, you know, when the people ask me, what's your name? See, all the people argue about the Bible, but they miss the important stories. He says, when the people ask me your name, what should I tell them? He says, I go by many names. I am that I am. I exist.
Mm-hmm.
I exist. If the people can't understand that, hear God, all this stuff is mentioned in the Bible, then someone is setting up an agenda to keep people arguing about a book that they should have mastered, that they've been reading for 30 years.
Yeah.
And can't quote to me on verse 420. That right there is going to know if you get in religion or dogma. John verse 420.
What does it say?
And I'll keep through, and anyone with that, with their own book, I'll say, just, are you familiar with John verse 420? And if you're familiar with it, are you living it? Because if you're living it, we have nothing to debate about.
What does it say?
And that's what John verse 420 says this for all my holy rollers, right? Because 420 is the national, marijuana day, which is, the herbs of the healing of the nation. But John verse 420 for my holy rollers, not the Bible holy rollers, but those that, in cannabis, 420. How dare you claim to love a God you do not see? Love not your brother and sister whom you see every day. You got people 30 years in the church, never heard that their pastor. Why hasn't he read it? Because that's a spell breaker. You'll take the book home and you got to come back to church. Church is a German word. It's a circle. Two or more people gathering in a cipher, you're having church. That's why in the Bible, Yahshua never talked about meet me at the building.
Yeah.
He had Second Baptist. He was walking around having church.
Yeah.
So the ones that supposedly crucified Christ are controlling your churches. This is why the people will never get the real story, even if they had the real book in their hand, because the interpreter is going to take you on.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, you have to think about one thing. And I don't care what Christians going to think about what I'm about to say or whatever, I'm just going to say it. This book, first of all, is just a copy from much, much older and more ancient texts. Second of all,
there you go.
Second of all,
but all the books are.
Yeah, and then also the translation. Like, you cannot go by the translation from nowadays. You have to go, if you want to really do research, you have to go back and learn old languages, you feel me? And also,
Hmm?
the third point is that this book has been rewritten so many times. And at first, it
Hmm?
wasn't like some of the stories, they were like going around like literally,
Islam's
not
ain't a
it was going around like
yeah.
verbally, not like some not that somebody wrote it down, like they was just doing it verbally. And it's the same. We have a game here in Germany. We call it whisper mail. It's like you sit in a circle and you
Hmm.
have one word, and let's say you sit in a circle with like 10 people, and you whisper that word into the next person's ear, and this person is going around, and then it's going around, and at the end you have a total different
Mm.
word then
Mm.
so it's like okay, you really think that all these stories are 100% accurate, and then you have to also think of
Incorrect.
that a lot of these
Hmm.
stories are metaphors, metaphysics, and other things, but people just simply read it word by word and take it literally. Like, I tried to read the Bible 2 times in my life. I'd never even made it to half because I was like some of this shit in here does not add
Hmm.
up. For instance, okay, people cannot say that the Old Testament doesn't matter anymore because you can't tell me that the Almighty, all-knowing God can change its mind. Okay, now you have in the Old Testament that God says that if a man rapes a woman, he has to marry her and give her father some money. And he has to stay married with her because he violated her. What kind of God is that? I mean, seriously, what kind of God says, okay, you can rape some women, but then you better take her as a wife and give her daddy some money? Imagine you have a daughter and a fool rapes her and then comes to you and says, hey, bro, here's some money. She my wife now. What is that?
Yeah. All right. So what you're looking at is you're looking at dogma. So as you said, right? The books were ripped off, right? They took a lot of our science. So these were science books, right? So I'm gonna make a lie casserole, right? I'm gonna put a bunch of lies in
Mm-hmm.
there, but I'm gonna sprinkle some top. You're gonna bite into it. It's gonna taste like the
It's like
truth, but the
50-50.
after,
It's mixed.
yeah. So now, so when you go into this, you understand they're fables. You're supposed to get the science of the story. There's a passage in the Bible that says, right? When I was a child, I thought and acted as a child. When I grew up, right, I put away childish things. So this is Masonic code. The preacher is supposed to talk to you when you're a child. He's supposed to tell you these little colorful stories in the book. But when the congregation is now of age, he's supposed to put away childish things and talk to you as an adult. But they have to get you into blind submission. So they keep you in the child degree. They keep you, now you're believing these stories. Man, now you're arguing about what color Jesus' sandals were. Nah, he had a blue do-rag. And he was like, wait a minute. These are mythological characters
Mm-hmm.
that were trying to give you the science, because all the books were supposed to teach you to master the higher and lower self,
Yeah.
the heaven and hell that within your temple is color writing and theater. That's for the blind followers that have no spirits, the lost souls. Because the ones that crucified all the Christ-like figures, which are the anointed ones, there were hundreds of people that personified the characteristics of this so-called Jesus. See, it was a story that was retold over and over. Remember, it resembles the story of Heru, and all of this stuff is connected. But we're not seeing it that all these books were saying the same thing. We're following the tunes of the everybody against each other, and they all attribute to to God, which is the Pope. So while everyone thinking everyone's
Your
against each
audio is
other,
messing up
they're all
again.
keeping. Wow. All right. See, I'm going in. I'm going into too much. I'm going into too much. That's why. All right. I'll dial it back. I'll dial it back. So when you understand that all these religions are set up in place to keep you looking in every different direction, while the same people got their hands in your pocket,
Mm-hmm.
they all pay tribute substitute god, which is the Pope. They bow down and kiss his ring like I seen a line of people, right? It was 27 blocks in New York City. People were meeting, touch you, and you get to kiss his hand. It was 27 block lines of people waiting. You see how you see all
Wow.
these lost souls, and they were all different colors. Yeah, this they're dogs. So these people are dangerous. Like if I told my grandmother
Thank
that
you.
picture was a picture of a murderer, she would stomp me into the ground. That
It's hard to hear you again,
because it's a
Jamaine.
yeah. I'm a dollar back. I'm a dollar back. Making too many religious spells, so I'm gonna get off that. I'm gonna get off that. See if we go into something else. Yeah, they're very selective. I see.
It's crazy, huh?
Man, that censoring is yeah.
It's crazy. But I don't want them to be able to stop us, you feel me? That makes me want to go against them even more.
They Yeah, and that's why we got to get our own forms of media, our own platforms. You know, if it's anybody, you know, in your country that does apps, let's we got to really, because the information is what's dangerous. But if it's on their platforms, they can always censor, and they've been doing this since the past 2 years. I've been doing videos
There's a
and deleted over 100 of my.
what? They just deleted your videos?
Yep. They'll mute the sound on a few. They'll delete what they want to. Some they deleted, then they brought them back. It's like it's weird how
That's why I'm
but because
saving
they're
my
not used to.
videos. I'm downloading each and every live
Mhm.
that I'm doing and I
Yeah,
save it to my computer because somebody said and showed that Facebook required this person to show identification. Like, if you don't do it, then they're gonna
yeah,
take you off. And I was like, wow, I'm gonna take my stuff down. I'm gonna save it. Be careful. I'm gonna save it,
Mhm.
and then just in case. And there's a platform. It's called. Hold on, let me think. Melanatedpeople.net. There's also a one, but I forgot the name. Thank you. But this one
Okay,
platform,
yeah,
melanatedpeople.net. I don't know if you can go live on there, but yeah, that's one platform for us.
yeah. Islam family. Yup, the family mentioned in the comments. Yeah, they edit our videos. They cut out what they want to cut out. Like they'll cut out 2 minutes of audio here and
But
two
how are
minutes
they
there.
doing
Like
that? Do they
yeah,
have
they're
really a person sitting there and listening and then trying to mess it
yeah
up? Like, how the hell does this shit work?
real. This is real. They are monitoring our videos in real time because the effectiveness of the people that's on the actual live getting their information. That's the powerness of, like, you remember when everyone was gathered around the news, gathered around the TV to when you thought the news was real. That's what this is, because people want real information. They don't want to be lied to anymore. You know,
Yeah.
most of us are still asleep. This ain't for them. And they're in these videos like this because they can't control this. We're not scheduled. This ain't a scheduled program. Like, we're gonna go live at 5. Like, we're just the family building, and they can't stop that because that's a spiritual thing. That's a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
And they only can just try to throw us off, and the momentum, and throw us off when we responding with the little quirks. Just planting the seed of starting this conversation tonight. That's what I want us to do on both sides of the world. To just have the people
Yeah.
take something from this. Like, I looking and researching myself. It can't
Yeah.
stop everyone talking about this. And with the
Yeah.
power, like, I don't care that they're monitoring. Do what you got to do. Get donuts and coffee. It's going to be a long broadcast.
Yeah.
But just know that our time has come back. The ancestors are saying, all right, y'all gotta honor us now. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody just stole from us, and y'all keep saying y'all the great, great, great.
Mm-hmm.
But great what? You just the great, great, great grandson, but you ain't great.
Yeah. They'll see what will happen. I mean, what goes around comes around. And
Hmm?
I'm not a firm believer in karma, but I do believe that especially if you do good people wrong, you're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
yours. That's what I believe.
Universal law. Well, in the Bible, what they say, you reap what you sow. And the Black Panther movie, you remember the Black Panther movie when he had that special suit, and
Oh, I
if
didn't
he got
watch that
hit,
movie.
he could have.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it for some time. Double back just to the science in it, not to be lost in the jungle of a. Because look, the actual panther is an animal from America. Do you see the spell they're trying to cast on the people? All of the actors are American, playing African. Do you understand what they were doing? But the people don't understand it. They just left the movie like, man, we from imaginary place. Of
Yeah.
course you are. You're from Africa America. That's imagine. That's imagine. I ain't seen that on no map on the planet. That's why I'm trying to stir that conversation with my people, even on both sides of the world, because you got people in Germany that say I'm black. They still identify with this, and people aren't crayons.
Yep. True that. You still there? Because the
And I'm
pictures
gonna
were
go
low.
into a powerful. I'm gonna go into a powerful. Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. Am I still on? Yeah, they just throw out. Yeah, family. Family. The truth. You see what's going. No fighting. It's unity amongst us. Yeah, family. We making them do overtime tonight, family, because they didn't expect us to continue the interview. They thought interrupting us would get everyone to go home. But Sunny's back in. I appreciate everybody on the broadcast. Share this, family. I tried to add her in. It's still like stuttering on adding her in, family. Like they going overtime. But we're not gonna give no energy to them. We're just gonna try to proceed with the interview. Let's see if we can get her back in. Wow. Get her back in. Yeah, you see, last time I tried to add her in, and they said, that they refused to add her in. Like she refused it, but it didn't, it's like messing up on both ends. So right now it's still saying it's adding her, but like it won't let her come in. Yeah, this is crazy. Try to bring her back in. Islam family. I'm trying to get the Empress back in from Germany. We can't get her back in. It's been trying to add her for 2 minutes. Yeah, family. You see, when we start building on real conversation, this is when they gotta disrupt the audio. Still trying to add her in. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring her out and come back in. So now the family suddenly they cut the sound. Wow. All right, I'm gonna try to bring her back in. Then it says I can't bring her on camera. Wow. Let me see something. All right, bring her back in. This is for the ancestors, we want to get this bill out because, we just want the family on both sides of the world to just start having this conversation, to start discussing these things. All right, so, yeah, I might have to restart the video, family. Yeah, we're going to restart it. Yeah, because I can't bring it back in. All right, we're going to do a part 2.0. All right, family. Islam family. You see, when we get the numbers up, it was like 60 people in, and it dropped because they're messing with the feed. So we might have to restart this. Give me a second. I'm gonna try to bring her in one more time. Islam to the family, tuning in. We're gonna try to finish this interview this evening, family. We're gonna, just bear with us. The truth is being censored, and it's always been censored. That's why people haven't been getting the truth. Yeah, it's not bringing that in.
Hello? Hmm.